What's up, guys? Your old pal CHH here today, and we are looking at the new Scream Factory 4K of Black Christmas. It's so crazy thinking about how Bob Clark directed A Christmas Story and Black Christmas. I mean, two of the most starkly contrast Christmas movies I've ever seen you could possibly think of. One is full of love and family and cheer and good laughs, and the other is quite possibly the greatest horror Christmas movie ever made. And it's one of the darkest movies still. I mean, it's so relentless, which just makes this movie so great. A few things I'll say about Black Christmas. I did a review last year, and I was like really dark and serious about it because it affected me big time the last time I watched it. The one thing I'll say this time is there's two things that I want to comment on. I was talking to the wife about this when we rewatched the new 4K release. The first thing is the ending is one of the greatest endings in horror I've ever seen. This guy seemingly has gotten away with what he did when they think it was the boyfriend, and it gets really quiet, and the camera is panning and panning and panning, and we realize he's still up in the attic because they didn't check it yet. I mean, it's something. It really freaks me out. I mean, because that's the horrors of the world that we lived through the 70s and 80s with all the serial killers. Like, we would always be so close, and they would slip away. It's crazy. And the other thing I wanted to mention about Black Christmas is the balance of this movie. It actually has some really good humor in it that I think works really well. And not only that, Lieutenant Fuller, John Saxon, we were talking about just how natural he is in this film. I mean, I think he's even better in this movie than, say, like Nightmare on Elm Street, which Nightmare on Elm Street, he's good, don't get me wrong, but, like, he feels so natural and good in Black Christmas 2019 with his performance and the way he was just talking and stuff. It flowed so good. Saxon is legitimately a fantastic actor. And I love the fact that when you dive into the Italian market, you're going to see him come up time and time again. He kind of was just a darling for those types of movies back then. So that's something I really love about John Saxon. So in terms of the picture for the 4K, I watched clips of the regular Blu-ray release that came out a year or so ago, or a few years ago, and then I watched this. I made sure I had my TV set up correctly. I turned everything off of bright mode and stuff, which I think actually harms the picture a little bit. Had everything baseline, and I was like, okay, this is certainly a native 4K image we're seeing right here. And it looked really good. I thought it looked good. I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. It wasn't the most, like, oh my god 4K that I've ever seen, and I've actually seen some Scream Factory releases that I'm even like, oh, that is an even bigger jump. Like, I thought The Fog was like a really good one. This is good. It's just not the most shockingly impressive jump I've ever seen from the Blu-ray to 4K, but I mean, if you're going to want to see this movie in the absolute best picture quality possible, you're going to want to get this. The thing that's cool about this is it is a 2022 4K scan of the original camera, and I get it presented in Dolby Vision, and it has a 2022 restoration of the original mono track, which I always love listening to these movies in mono tracks. Sometimes these 5.1s and things like that, they're a little too trebly and thinnish sounding for me. They can have a great range, but I'm a fan of, like, we talked about the Return of the Living Dead release a while back. They put the mono track back on there. Granted, I found out that there's a song missing in the original soundtrack still, but that mono track on the Return of the Living Dead 4K was awesome. It's just robust sounding. Same thing here. We got the original mono track. We've also got a new 2022 5.1 mix restoring the missing sound effects and dialogue, which I went back and listened through the movie with that too, and that was awesome. I mean, that's great that that's a big incentive, especially if you're a big fan, to want to hear the way the movie was when it came out. Was great. And then, of course, you get the Blu-ray release of this, which still has all that great stuff with the new 2022 scan as well. So when you take the slip off, you're going to get the original artwork right there. 4K Ultra HD plus Blu-ray Collector's Edition of Black Christmas. No reversible art, which, quite frankly, the only thing I wish they would have done, wasn't this movie called Silent Night, Bloody Night, or Silent Night, Evil Night, or something right in here? I wish they would have given us that. I remember when I was interviewing Darren Miller, the singer of CKY and now 96 Bitter Beings, he has a poster with the alternate art on it. So you're going to get your 4K disc. You're going to get the Blu-ray disc. which has that creepy shot. And then this is the Black Christmas bonus features disc, which I believe they ported everything over from the previous release. I'll pull up an image of the screen on that Blu-ray right now. You can look over all the special features on there. It's chock full of stuff. I think there's like 15 things, all the way from Film and Furs, Remembering Black Christmas with actors Art Hindle, a bunch of Rememberings, fan expos, all the way down to still galleries, TV spots, and radio spots. So this is one of those things where, you know, it makes me really want to start thinking, should I start selling off some of my Blu-rays from Scream Factory and just trying to get a little bit of money while I can? Now, that's actually something I'm battling with, because I am a victim, if you will, of wanting to see some of these movies, especially titles like this, in the absolute best picture quality possible, because they're remarkable films, and I really want to see them as good as I possibly can. Maybe that's a fault of mine. So that's something I'm wondering, you know, and there's other people that are going to be like, you know what, the Blu-ray's good enough for me. And I totally get that. You really got to figure out what you want as a viewer. And Black Christmas for me is a title, quite frankly, I just enjoy buying, if I'm going to be real, because this is like one of those movies I get excited. If they put out another fun release of this, like they put this out on Steelbook, I'd consider it, because it's Black Christmas. It's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Christmas horror movies ever, and it's one of the best movies from the 70s. I think I even put it in my top 10 non-franchise slashers. It might have been number 3 or something. So, I mean, and it deserves it. So, I'm going to give this release 1 thumb up. They didn't get a lot of new stuff in terms of interviews and things like that, but I think it's harder to get some of these people. Everybody's passing away. But if you want to see this movie in the best picture quality possible, I can comfortably say that this 4K is going to be the way to do it. And if you don't own this, you're right to get this instead of the Blu-ray, because you are getting, of course, the new scan on this as well. Good upgrade, not an amazing upgrade, but, you know, some of those are getting kind of fewer and farther between to find. I mean, Fright Night was one that was done really well. Halloween H2O I thought was a stellar upgrade, but then again, we never got a great Blu-ray of that. So we got a good Blu-ray of this a few years ago, so that's really starting to lessen the blow on the upgrade in terms of like, oh my god, on some of these. So that is something to consider, especially with Scream Factory, because they're basically just repurposing all their titles again for 4K, and we can't buy all of them. Some people are, but I can't buy all of them. But Black Christmas is one I'm totally comfortable upgrading. So I'll give this one 1 thumb up, this release. Let me know your thoughts on this film. Is it your favorite Christmas horror film? To me, it's I think it's the best. Krampus might be my favorite, but more than likely I'll tell you that this is my favorite. Black Christmas, 4K. Check it out. I'll put an Amazon affiliate link down below if you want to pick that up. It may be in stores right now. That's something you can look for. But there it is, guys. Let me know your thoughts on that release. Have you picked it up? Are you going to pick it up? And are you going to stick with your Blu-ray? I'd like to hear where people's headspace is at with that kind of thing. And, you know, it's just interesting to me. We're living in interesting physical media times for the collector's market. Thank you guys for watching this. This is Christian. Be sure to sub to the channel if you haven't. Drop a like and a comment, and I'll respond to you promptly. See you guys next time. Happy holidays. I want to say thanks to all my amazing Patreon supporters who make Planet CHH possible. For behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and more, you can subscribe for as little as $1 a month.